Episode 1. The Road to Brunanburh. Welcome back to the channel. In previous videos, I've explored Burnley's history and some of the landmarks that connect us to our past. Today, I want to look at something much older, a moment that helped shape the very idea of England itself. It's drawn from a book I've written about the Battle of Brunanburh, a battle I believe may have been fought right here, in Burnley. So, let's step back more than 1,000 years, to a time when Viking fleets ruled the seas, Anglo-Saxon kings fought to unite Britain, and in the year 937 AD, a young nation faced its greatest test. A young Saxon king named Æthelstan ruled from Wessex to Northumbria, but to the north and west, a powerful coalition was gathering to challenge him. The Irish Norse, the Scots and the Britons of Strathclyde united under King Olaf Guthfrithson of Dublin and Constantine II of Alba. Their goal was to break England apart and restore Viking control of the north. The battle that followed is recorded simply as Brunanburh, a clash that shaped the British Isles for the next millennium. It has since faded from popular memory, overshadowed by later conflicts like the civil wars and the Battle of Hastings. Yet Brunanburh was more important than either in defining what England would become. There would not have been an England without it. And the name itself, along with the landscape that still bears its echo, suggests that battlefield may have been fought in the valley of the River Brun, at Burnley. In the early 10th century, England remained a mosaic of rival territories. Wessex ruled the south, Mercia the Midlands, and Northumbria was under Scandinavian influence. For generations, Viking armies had settled across the Danelaw. Alfred the Great's campaigns in the 870s stabilised Wessex and created a network of fortified towns, the burhs, each a defensive and administrative centre linked by law and taxation. His son, Edward the Elder, continued that expansion, pressing northward and bringing Mercia under direct royal rule. When Edward died in 925, his eldest son Æthelstan inherited a powerful but unsettled realm. King Æthelstan had been raised in Mercia under his aunt Athelflaed, also known as the Lady of the Mercians. That upbringing made him familiar with both the politics of Wessex and the frontier culture of the north. By 927, he had seized York after the death of its Viking ruler Sitric Kach, uniting north and south for the first time. All English-speaking territories now recognised a single king. Contemporary charters call him Rex Totius Britanniae, King of all Britain. Foreign chroniclers referred to him as Basileus Anglorum, Emperor of the English. Yet his power bred resentment in the north, where local kings saw their influence fading. Constantine II of Alba had acknowledged Æthelstan's overlordship after the English campaign of 934, but the peace was fragile. When the Norse dynasty expelled from York sought allies, Constantine joined them. Olaf Guthfrithson of Dublin and Owain of Strathclyde completed the alliance. Their motives differed. Constantine wanted to halt English expansion. Olaf aimed to retake York and its trade routes. Owain sought to preserve Cumbrian autonomy. Their combined host drew Norse Gael seafarers from Ireland and the Isles, Scottish spearmen, Strathclyde Britons on horseback, and contingents from Orkney and Galloway. The annals of Ulster described the coming battle as immane et dirum, immense and terrible, fought ferociter, fiercely. Olaf's fleet sailed from Dublin in late summer 937. The shortest crossing led to England's northwest coast, most likely the Ribble or Mersey estuaries. From there, the Ribble and its tributary the Calder formed a natural corridor eastward toward the Pennine passes and the roads to York. The valleys offered water, grazing, and firm marching ground, the essentials of medieval campaigning. To avoid the stronger burhs further south, the invaders would choose the open uplands of central Lancashire, advancing along the Calder through Clitheroe and down toward Burnley. From that point, the route continues east through the Ayr and Wharfe valleys into York. It was a route that joined sea, river and road in a single line of advance, exactly the corridor Burnley occupies today. News of the landing would have reached Æthelstan within days. Where he was at that moment is uncertain. He may have been campaigning in Mercia, drawing troops from Tamworth and Derby as he marched north. Or he may have been returning south from York, where he had governed earlier that year. Both movements converge on the same ground. If he advanced from the south, his goal was to block the invaders before they reached the open plains. If he marched from York, he was moving west to cut them off before they broke through the Pennine corridor. Either way, the line of collision ran along the Ribble, Calder, Brun system. Burnley sits near its midpoint, the narrow gateway between the western seaboard and the eastern plain. The River Brun rises on the moorlands above Worsthorne and flows west to join the Calder. Along its course stand ridges at Brunshaw, Rowley and Redleys, open high ground with clear views across the valley. For any commander of the 10th century, those slopes offered strong defensive positions, firm underfoot, close to water and easy to supply. To the north lie Daneshouse and Saxifields. Their very names hint at a confrontation long remembered, the Danes' house and the Saxons' fields. Whether those names preserve genuine memory or later tradition, they match the logical alignment of two opposing armies, the invaders approaching from the northwest, the English drawn up on the heights to the south and east. Medieval armies fought where geography forced them to. The Brun Valley is the natural choke point between the coast and the Vale of York. It also lies roughly midway between Ribble landing sites and the English stronghold of York. Chronicles speak of camps established within sight of each other before the engagement. It is easy to picture the Danish tents along the low meadows near Daneshouse, and the English lines spread across Brunshaw and Rowley above them. Between the two lay the open ground later called Saxifields, level land broad enough for a pitched battle. East of Burnley rises Worsthorne, a high ridge with views across the Calder and Brun valleys. The name almost certainly derives from Old English weird thorn, the watchthorn or lookout hill. It refers to a thorn tree or beacon marking a guard point on high ground, a common feature of early English frontiers. Given the elevation and its clear command of the surrounding land, the meaning fits perfectly. The Anglo-Saxon chronicle poem on Brunanburh speaks of a battle that raged from sunrise until the sun's setting, a day of close fighting where shield met shield, and never before was there greater slaughter. Such a contest required open ground, firm soil, and space for large formations, precisely what the uplands around Burnley provide. The ridges at Redleys and Rowley could have held the English line. The Brun and Calder rivers defined the flanks. The moor behind offered refuge for reserves. Modern Burnley has changed. Mills, terraces and reservoirs now cover the fields, but the contours remain. The ridges, the river, and the wide view toward Pendle Hill are still the same landscape the two armies saw in 937. In the next episode, we follow the course of that day, the night raid, the clash of the shield walls, and how the fight for England was decided on the slopes above the Brun.